Disclaimer, if you don't like my melodies, then this video is not for you. Number 1, imperfection is character. Now here's the thing, perfect is kind of boring. If all the notes are played at the perfect time, at the perfect length, and at the perfect rhythm, then it's kind of bland. It's boring, it's unseasoned. Which is why nowadays I'm really embracing imperfection in my melodies. Whenever I put melodies down now, I'm never clicking them in, I'm usually playing them on my keyboard. And I'm not going into MIDI, now I'm just recording straight into audio. Now, if you don't have a keyboard, there are a couple ways you can emulate this sound. First thing I would suggest is randomizing velocity, so you have some notes sticking out more than others.
Let's make this more lifelike. I'm gonna randomize first. The velocities.
Also, shifting the notes over a bit can really add to the feel.
I'm not actually thinking about where I'm moving them. I'm gonna just move them randomly for now, and then when I listen back and anything sticks out too much, then I will fix it.
Creating imperfection is actually really easy to do. You just have to embrace those little mistakes that you make, because that's what really gives your melody its soul and character. For example, here I am putting down this bass line, and since I'm not a good bass player at all, there are so many little imperfections. The notes are inconsistent, you can hear the scratching on the strings, and the timing is a little bit off. But little details like this cannot be easily replicated on a VST. And if I ever do make a really bad mistake, I can always fix the audio later. Number 2, make melodies with a purpose. In my opinion, there are some melodies that lack intention. For example, I can click in a melody that follows a nice chord progression, that has some nice rhythms, and overall is really consonant and there's not much clashing tones in there.
This is what I mean when I say that some melodies lack intention. Even though these notes all follow the chord progression, it still just feels weird because there's no structure to it. It's just good sounding notes.
So how do you fix this? First thing I recommend is you have a catchy melody. What I like to do for these is to sing or hum it out. You can start either completely on your own or with a chord progression or even with a song you enjoy, but it's always a good indication if something is catchy if you can hum it out. Next, you need to have a bit of repetition. Once you have that catchy idea, repeat it and make some variations. So you can see in this vocal melody I have, it's pretty repetitive. There is a bit of variation, but you can see the overall shape and rhythm are very similar to each other. If you have vocals to your melody, another way to make it more purposeful is to add lyrics to it, because what's more intentional, a strongly written phrase or just random scatting, skibbity bop, skibbity boop bop bop. Another way to create with intention is to use harmony, because you're basically saying, I like this melody so much, I'm gonna build around it. Instead of having another melody that fights against you, you now have something that supports it. If you do these, it really feels like you're composing with a purpose and you're not just clicking stuff around. Number 3, create a soundscape. One big thing I focus on now is creating a soundscape around my melody. Because it's one thing to make something sound good, but it's another to really take you to a different space. For example, let's say I have this piano and I put some vinyl noise over it. What does this ambience mean? It means it's played on a vinyl record and it's probably old. Let's do it again. Let's say I put this restaurant ambience over it. Now you might be thinking this guy is playing a gig at a restaurant or a cafe. What if I had this rain ambience over it? Maybe it's a guy in an apartment by himself and it's raining and it's nighttime and he's lonely. See how I put down these ambiences? It creates all these different images. That was pretty basic. Now I want you guys to try to bring it to the next level. Let's say I want to emulate a voice note sung in the bathroom. Obviously me singing into a mic in an acoustically treated room will not have that same effect. So we really have to put ourselves in that space and recreate the scenario.
I'm going to have the mic around here, but I'm gonna record around here. Let's get our lyrics, record vocals once again around the same distance.
What are the acoustics in a bathroom? It's a small room with a lot of tiles, so there's a lot of reflection. Let's take it a step further. What noises do you hear in the bathroom? Maybe there's an exhaust fan going on, maybe the sink's running. You're probably singing into your phone, but it might be a little bit away from you. Maybe you're listening from outside the bathroom, and maybe it's a little bit muffled because the door is closed. If you ask yourself questions like that, you're gonna end up with something that's really authentic.
Yeah, you can already hear it. Just by me singing it farther away from the mic, there's already a vibe to it.
Number 4, ear candy. Now, if your beat just needs a little bit extra, then I would suggest adding ear candy. Now, the thing is, it shouldn't act like an extra counter melody. It really shouldn't take up much attention. It's basically just filling out a bit of empty space. There's not really a wrong answer on how to make ear candy. It could be a single note, it could be a chord, a flourish, or some percussion. The main thing is, it should never take focus out of the main melody. If you guys are interested, I just released a melodic texture pack on my website called Atomic. It has 150 texture one-shots, and these range from notes to chords to flourishes. These were recorded with synths, and they were processed with guitar pedals, so they all sound really analog and glitchy. On top of that, I also made 20 texture loops, and these are all key labeled and BPM synced, so you can just drag and drop them into your DAW if you want to add something to your beat or your melody. that's hard. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what tutorials you want to see next. Now, if you're interested, I just dropped a couple new kits on my website. One is the texture pack I mentioned earlier in the video, and I just dropped a new sample pack called Alchemy. This is easily my very best sample pack to date. And if you made it this far in the video, use this code to get a discount on that pack. That's about it. Love you guys, and I'll see you guys soon. If you have any suggestions, leave a comment. If you like this video, leave a like. If you really like this video, subscribe. If you didn't like this video, leave. Just leave. Get out of here.